The birthday brunch I had planned for a few weeks was kind of a bit of a disaster, but we had quite an amazing weekend to celebrate, and of course there's a lot of food we're going to cover here. The first of which is dinner at a place called Mex Cocina La Catrina in Troy, New York. Just a block away, they were having Troy Night Out, which is held the last Friday of every month and highlights shops, restaurants, art, and culture. The menu at Mex Cocina is pretty expansive, and originally I had wanted tacos, but I saw they have a torta on the menu and that I could get that with Milanese chicken cutlet, and it was really hard to resist getting this. It did not disappoint. It was massive, as big as my head, and if you know me, I got a big freaking head, and also kind of a mess. Refried beans, mayo, lettuce, tomato, onion, jalapeno, sliced avocado, and of course that thin, crispy chicken cutlet. We also tried the mangonada, which is a frozen mango beverage served with chamoy and tahini. They even give you a tamarind candy straw. I thought it was delicious, just like the guava and cheese empanada, which was obviously freshly fried to order. Everything we had here was great and good fuel to walk the shops. But I knew exactly where I was headed. My buddy David has a business called Lyf Supply where he designs and customizes clothes, including embroidering. I had my eyes on some of the hats that he posts to social media, so I figured this was the time to treat myself. David and I have a limited clothing collaboration coming this fall, so keep your eyes on the community page here so you don't miss out. My family found more stuff at the outdoor market, but at a certain point we wanted a little dessert, so we ducked into Dutch Udder. They're serving up rich and decadent homemade ice cream flavors, and you won't see flavors like this anywhere. Grasshopper, wit, hop, movie popcorn, and the one that caught my eye, bourbon bacon butter pecan, which is a maple base with candied pecans and bacon in maple syrup and butter pecan moonshine. That's a mouthful. I did just one scoop with hot fudge and it was incredible. Noah tried that movie popcorn flavor and it was surprisingly great. They didn't overdo it with that flavor. Very nice. We posed in Monument Square for a few pictures and then went home to rest for brunch the next morning, which I had planned at Biergarten in Schenectady, where they give you a free 2-liter boot of beer and serve a weekend brunch. Here's where the disaster comes in. We got there around 10:45 a.m. and the kitchen was totally closed. Like, the staff just didn't even come in. Now, I didn't find this out until after the boot was poured, and I hadn't eaten anything that morning yet. So luckily they have peanuts to snack on, so I wasn't drinking early with nothing in my stomach. So, in addition to answering the question of whether I could actually finish this boot, we were also going to see if we were getting food. I got about halfway down that boot and had a good pile of peanut shells going, and still no lights in the kitchen. Finally, with about a third of the now almost room temperature Utica Club in that boot, we were able to place an order. Because it was almost noon by then, they canned the whole brunch menu, so we ordered apps and other stuff from the main menu. If you know me, I cannot and will not shut up about the combination of fried mozzarella with raspberry Melba sauce, and theirs were cheesy as heck. And you know I had to take a bite of Cassie's poutine, which had a really hoppy tasting gravy, but when I'm drinking a silly amount of beer in a German ambiance, I want sausages. So I went with the Wurst plate with pork bratwurst, beef knockwurst, and chorizo. The chorizo was probably my favorite, and as I ate through the sausages, it was enough to get the rest of that boot down. We did it, guys, and at that point, I was ready for a nap. At 45, I'm not built for this the way I used to be. Especially because I had something massive up my sleeve for dinner at one of my favorite finer Mexican restaurants, Toro in Albany. They make a chopped salad served in a humongous taco shell, but we also found out they make a giant cheese stick with Oaxaca cheese, taco seasoning, creamy ranchera sauce, and cilantro pesto. I resisted the urge to pick this up for a bite and use my fork. It was silly good, and just as we finished, our entrees came out. Look at this freaking taco. This vertical orientation almost can't do it justice. This I had to give the old college try, even though it's not designed for that. Yep, not even close. Luckily, by then the restaurant was mostly empty, so I'm only embarrassing myself here. In terms of what this is, remember back in the 90s when they made taco salads inside of the fried tortilla shell? It's basically that, but with premium ingredients. So good. Dessert had to happen because it was my birthday, and I went with churros, which were served with dulce de leche, chocolate, and mixed berry sauces. I did the whole wish thing and then got down with the churros, but not before I stole a bite of Cassie's tres leches. Of the 3 churro sauces, I was partial to chocolate, but the others were pretty insane too. After that, I was totally ready for bed. This is getting long, so I realize I'm cutting a bunch of things out, but I'll fill in the gaps in some upcoming shorts because there were some other little details that I think deserve to be highlighted. So keep your eyes out for those. The next day was relatively quiet, so we just ordered a pizza and enjoyed a little birthday cake Cassie made at home. And just like that, 3 epic days of birthday celebration, I think I hit all 3 cities in the immediate capital region and enjoyed every minute of it. Definitely more of a low-key birthday this year, at least compared with the Montreal trip we did for my 40th, which you can check out clicking on the playlist on your screen right now.